Well, hello. We've just been to Mount Gambier, picked up some stuff from Bunnings, the place I spend half my money, and we're now, oh, that smells like the ocean, and we're now at Port McDonnell, down on the beach. It actually smells oceany. I think it's a fishing village, so we're going to get out here. Careful. Come down. Leia, just wait. Hey. Okay, better camera work. Come here. So it looks like a fishing village by the looks of it. A lot of fishing boats out here. I don't know if you can really see that. Yeah, so there's all the fishing boats. Sorry about the wind. It's full on, man. Maybe I go to the toilet. So we're going to go down the coast. I don't even know if that's north or that's east that way. East, probably south and that's north. We're going to head west inland. This is a little fishing village. I'm going to turn this off because it's windy, too windy. Anyway, we're going to go down to Nelson next and then along to Portland and then we'll go inland back home. Oh man, that was one stinky beach. That was the worst smell out there. We tried to get down to the end of the rocks over here, but there's an outlet down here. There's a lot of seaweed on that beach and there's an outlet down there. I don't know if it's to do with this problem I've had in the water, but mate, it stunk so bad. As I say, there's a lot of fishing boats out here, but they've had big problems with dead fish and stuff like that. So that beach was rank, so rank. It's a tiny little town. So we're going to go along the coast to. So we're just going to do another quick video. I'm going to use this as a way of trying to figure out editing. We just came from Port McDonnell. That stunk. That had outlets. That was a mix of people that live there, more expensive houses, and then a whole lot of camping stuff, and then a whole lot of shitbox sheds and camping stuff. Where we are, hang on, I'll switch this. So we had to come back in. We had to come from the road that was going along. Here comes a tractor. We had to come back inland and then we have to turn off to go to Nelson. So this is a mix of, I'm going to move before this tractor comes. So this land is a mix of cropping, fields that they've done in hay, but also because the rains came late here because they had a drought and the rains have come through late. They've got some fields that are majorly overgrown, which is a big bushfire risk this time of year because they get dry lightning out here on these overcast days. So they've got fields that still have to be ploughed. Grass is growing quite well. This is quite green. I don't know if that's a crop they've got in there, not sure. And then dairy farming, and also there was some farming that has to do with looked like they were grain fed farming. So it's an interesting mix through here. We're still in South Australia. We're coming down to Nelson. I don't know if Nelson is South Australia or Victoria. I think it might be Victoria, but at the moment I think we're still in Crow-Eater country. We're just passing like heaps of cows. I don't know if they're dairy. They look like dairy. They're black and white speckled cows that look like dairy cows, and but I can't see a milking area, so not sure where they walk them, but the milking won't be till it's 2 o'clock now, so I think they normally milk at say 5 or 6. It doesn't get dark here until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So it's an interesting mix. I'll get better with I'll get a camera that can actually film this area because it's a very interesting area. There's a lot of different flora, fauna and uses, because you've got forestry, you've got grain production, you've got cropping, you've got cattle, you've got sheep, There's wild animals here, deer and pigs, and there's old people, a lot of old people, and yeah, so it's a it's an interesting mix. I think this is like a cheaper version of the South Coast, or like the bottom end of the South Coast, where everyone comes on holiday. Not quite as green. There's a lot.
In 800 metres, turn right onto Glenelg River Road, C192.
So we're coming up to an intersection. We're going to turn off. I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to see whether I can edit this stuff together later on. We'll see how we go. Alright, I don't know if you, because that cradle is hopeless. So here we're at Nelson. Nelson is a little batch settlement right on an inlet leading out to the sea. So you know, you got this nice little inlet, you've got little beach spots to park, and then over here, you know, you got batches and things like that. Little nice Nelson Hotel, and there's little batches and bits and pieces. So it's again another little settlement. You can get on the other side there. Nothing too flash. We're about 70k from Portland. As I say, I'll do these a lot better. I'll get a camera on the dash so you can actually. So I'm going to do a quick on the run video. Hopefully I can be heard. I might have to talk a bit louder. Just came from Nelson along. There's a turn off to a town, starts with D. I can't remember the name of it. Along that section was so much forestry, and further on. But a lot of the forestry right off the side of the road was, I'm talking hundreds, maybe thousands of pine cones. There was also wood that was big enough that you could you know, build a whole gazebo out of the thing. So I don't know if there is a time of year here that you're allowed to go in and hop wood out of the forestry for firewood. So I think a small chainsaw, get the trailer down there. The plan through the new year is to get out and get as much free stuff as possible, and just start storing it on the property under tarps, or however I do it, or get a cheap gazebo cover, whatever I do. That'll be the plan, and getting ready to make what I call the secret garden out the back, and fencing areas and things like that. So if I can do it with as much free stuff as possible, obviously I've seen a lot of batches around here, and it's milled wood out of forestry into thin boards. Wood costs so much money now, so pallets, and I went past Bunnings when I left Mount Gambier, and the amount of pallets out the back was mental. From really big ones to medium-sized ones to little tiny ones you can use for steps and stuff. So I'm just going to start getting into that and hocking it wherever I can, and start building stuff up. Might as well while I'm off work. The forestry sites, you could actually just drive a trailer in. I don't know if you're allowed to do it, but we'll soon find out. Pine cones I could get. I've got two great big bags that fit in my trailer that I could fill with thousands of pine cones. Maybe bag them up and flick them for $10 each. Who knows? I certainly know that in my fire I was burning red gum, and I will be next winter. And what I know with the red gum is you need a grey wood, you need a grey gum, or a hotter burning wood to chuck in between logs. That's where you can stack it up, chuck the things and it goes through, and helps the fire to keep going. So the diversity, I think I have actually struck gold out here. The diversity of what is in this area, as I say, grain, forestry, terrible roads, grain, forestry, fertiliser for farms. We just passed a section that was farms off towards the coast. There's another set of hills before you can see the beach on the other side. Batches, there's so much around here, so it's going to be really interesting. Now the interesting equation to take note of is, if I was to earn, I'm 57 now, retirement age is 67, will I retire at 67? Don't be stupid. If I'm how I am now, I'm a bit fat, but if I'm how I am now at 57, and I put a little bit of work in to be a bit healthier and less stress and things like that, you know, I'm going to be in pretty good shape at 67, maybe right even through to 77. But if I was to earn $50,000 a year for the next 10 years, $500,000. I have no rent, I have no mortgage. All I have is food, which is part of that old road. I live in an area with heaps of cattle and sheep, so food out here is going to not be hard to find. And then I've got electricity, which I will start to bring some solar stuff in and some, self-sustainable. But at the moment, my electricity is $100 a month. We'll see with the aircon, because I was using that, but that's only a few dollars. It's only $1 an hour or something to run. I don't run all the time. Today it's 17 degrees. It's beautiful. So that equation, $500,000. I'll say I invested $100,000 into my property. I'll never get it back, but you know what I mean? I could build that up into something amazing, as well as all the free stuff, as well as make my own things. So this is where the journey is going to get really interesting. Okay, I hope you come along and watch it, and see what we come up with. When I say we, I mean me and all the voices in my head. And the doggo who's sleeping over here. So we're heading to Portland now. It's a bloody long drive, but it was only 70k from Nelson, but it seems like ages. Just because I think the diversity of what I'm passing. Oh, there's a multi-million-dollar house. That thing's massive. Wow. So there's such a range of different houses. Old houses, brand new houses, horse studs, farms, sheep farms, forestry, batches, old houses that look schmack as, little beach settlements. It's just mental. So I can't wait till I get a camera. I've got to get a camera I can sit on the dash here and swivel. Because I do this all solo, I could get in trouble for doing this, but I'm not looking at the camera. I'm watching the road. I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm not watching a video. I occasionally look at you guys, see, but I can see the road. It's no different to having a conversation with someone in the car, looking in the mirror, talking to someone in the back. So it's once I can capture what is out here, it's quite a diverse thing. Nelson is actually in Victoria, so that's a good. It's good to know. What is that thing? It's a weird bit of machinery. And there's a whole lot of gravel on the side of the road here, so they must be doing some sort of road works. Don't steal gravel. Anyway, don't steal anything. It's just interesting. It's now we're going into a green area. We're going back to green again now, so we're coming back into Portland, I think, 80k. Alright, I'll take a quick video of Portland when I get there. Wow, so I've just turned off Portland Nelson Road, and this is where all the logs go. So this is one of the places all the trucks bring the logs into. They've got big machines. Hang on, we'll just come around here. They've got big machines for unloading here, over here. Oh, there we go. Big machines are unloading. Doggo's having a snooze. Very interesting. Very interesting. So this is the road down to Portland. We're going to go down to Portland and take a look. As I say, it's got very green again out here, so this is a green area. See how I go editing this all together. Should be interesting. Alright, so let's go back down to Portland. I might see if I can get into this logging, because there's people dropping off aggregate. Cube, oh, that's Cube that does that. That's a chipping plant. So could be a chipping plant. It seems to be that they chip this forestry. There is 160,000 hectares of softwood, so that's pines. I don't know what else is there. And 100,000 hectares of...
In 500 metres, turn right onto Henty Highway, A200.
100,000 hectares of hardwoods, so gums and different hardwoods like that. And you've got, there's a big cube base here. Oh, this is the cube forestry. That's massive. Oh, that's huge. There must be...
Turn right onto Henty Highway, A200.
Wow. So that runs out of Portland here. Man, they got chipping trucks as well, which are like dumpies. Oh, there's a lot of trucks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Holy Hades, that's a lot of trucks.
Continue on A200 for 1 kilometre.
So that's Cube, that's only one company. Only one company. These guys will be on 100, 150 grand a year. So Cube Forestry, I don't know if I can take my dog to work, but we'll give it a go. Someone will let me. Anyway, so that's quite interesting. There's a fertiliser place there. K&S Freighters runs out of here. So this is really the first time I've come in this way and taken a good look around.
In 600 metres, turn left onto C193.
Right, I'm going to get off the phone because I need to figure out where I'm going. Thank you. So here we are, we've just arrived in Portland. I'll move the camera around a bit in a minute. So Portland is the first settlement in Victoria. I just went past the Portland Club, established 1877. They were here in the 1830s, I think, 1830s, 1840s. Settled here, then they went inland. The Henty brothers went in and established Sanford and those sorts of areas, and then Casterton. You've got Cape something water, Bridgewater, off to the side. Sort of coming in a different way, so I'm quite familiar with where I am. Oh, there's the pools. As I say, I'll get a camera that shows all these things. I'm just asking the police thing, so I don't want to mess around with the phone. You can get fined for holding your phone while the car's running. So I think we're coming down to the waterfront, slightly different angle than I was before. Yeah, Portland's got about 10,000 people. Reminds me of where I grew up in Upper Hutt in Wellington. And oh yeah, got the park over here, so we'll see if we can pull up somewhere over here. Fresh seafood. Yeah, let's go down there. Just coming on a different angle. Oh yeah, we're down the foreshore, down the seashore. Seashells down here. She sells seashells on the seashore. Why would they sell seashells when they're just on the floor? So what I'll do is I'll park up somewhere. These guys selling seafood. I think they do scallops with roe on here. Ooh. I'm just going to pull into here. Like a bloody muppet, mate. Like a muppet. So over to my right, I'm going to pull right up near the things. You've got all the fishing boats. There's some old ones in here. Okay, let's flick this around. So what we got here, we've got all the fishing boats along here. Let's zoom in on them a bit. Yeah, there's some chunky old ones, those ones. Fishing boats. Then over here you've got the Portland tugs for the bigger boats that come in. This is that massive fishing. Look at the big dozer on there. That's a massive D90 or D10 or whatever they call them. That thing's huge. They have trucks go up onto these things and get lifted up in the air. So that's the Portland shipping. The last time I did a video I was over there. I was way over there with the doggy, and we walked along that foreshore. So she's a nice spot. Oops. Yeah, people having little picnics at the park. Might get out and give the dog a wee, eh? Oh, she's off. Hang on. Want a wee wee? Just give me a second. Give me a second, darling. Good girl. Don't chase the pigeons. Behave. Just have a toilet. Oh, come on. Good girl. So this is the Port of Portland. There's work everywhere. There's work down here. If I worked in that yard I wouldn't be able to take the dog to work. That's the township over there. Just zoom in a bit. Township over there. Don't chase the seagulls. Township across there. Nice one. We're going to head in from Portland. So there's a world of possibilities, and there's also an opportunity to do a lot of filming around here and just show the area. It's stunning here. You know, I never knew it even really existed. Been all around Aussie and had no clue. So it's summer. Look at the weather. 17 degrees, a nice breeze going on. I think home's going to be about 20 degrees. A little bit warmer in there. Colder in winter in there. So, you know, when it gets really hot, come here. When it gets really hot, we can actually escape down the coast here. Breeze. It's lovely. Beautiful. Fishing boats. It's lovely out here. We've got people coming to see us. You right? What do you got? Oh, there's a dead seagull. Man, he's not a happy seagull, isn't he? Poor bugger. Hey, come here. Come here. Yep, dead seagull. Alright. Let's get you chilled out. Come here, baby. Alright, we'll get that off now. That's lovely. So we're going to travel, it's about 75k back home to here. So about the same distance I just drove. And again, I'll see if I can knit these all together. I have no idea about editing back there. I have no idea about editing or how to do all that. So we'll see what we can do with these videos if we can mould it into one. So just before I go out of this area. Hey, happy girl. Happy, aren't you? Okay, so we've come down the end of Portland. That's looking down the coast a bit further. So it's going down towards Great Ocean Road. If we follow the coast, and that's looking back into Portland. So you can see landfall right out there, going for miles. Look at it. Goes for miles, so not quite sure how she goes. And that's back towards Portland. So we basically just went all the way down the Esplanade, and we're going to head off up this road. I actually thought you went through town and straight out to go home, but then we're going to head inland as the Henty brothers did. So it gives you a short idea, but once I can do a time lapse of the whole area we travel, and you can actually start to see the area that I live in. If we go down the coast, it goes down to Port Fairy, Port Campbell, and then 2 hours down is Warrnambool, and then further down Wye River, where I spent New Year's Eve. So I spent my last New Year's Eve down Wye River, so I'm actually a few kilometres down the coast from where I was last year. 6 years ago. So didn't see that coming, that I'd be living in this area. I love the area. I drove right down here and thought it was beautiful, but had no idea that 6 years later I would be living there and own a house. And own a house in this area. I'm pretty blessed, and I'm even more blessed to have it freehold. The reason I got it freehold was from an injury. I got a payout for the injury. I've managed to heal the injury mostly, although it was niggling in the last few days. It gives me a fright when it does that. So I got to do more exercise and rebuild it better. So over the next year, 2 years, and get it as strong as we can get it. Get some of this weight off me. Too much. So we're going to head home, and I'm going to have a play around at editing. I have no idea how to edit. Get it off this. It's done on my phone, on my Android, and we'll edit it from there. So we'll have a go. Thanks for joining us.